What's up, Keep Pounding Nation? We're back with the Panthers versus the Packers in Lambeau Field, Week 10 post-game video. I'm going to tell you right now, this video is not going to be friendly towards players and coaches. So sit tight and strap in because this is going to be a wild ride. Because I'm about to throw some people under the bus today. And if you don't have a seatbelt on, you're going to be one of the first ones under the bus. Alright. Let's start with Kyle Allen. Here's the good, the bad, and the ugly with Kyle Allen today. The good, he threw some really good passes. He looked pretty good. He got the chains moving, got some good plays going. It looked great. The bad. He did not step up in the pocket at all. He has no pocket awareness whatsoever. Got to work on that, dude. Got to work on that. Here's the ugly. Greg Olsen is going to be doubled on a daily basis during games. Every game, he's going to be doubled. You can count on it. You can set your watch by it. It's Greg Olsen, man. Come on. So, will someone in this comment section please help me understand how Kyle Allen cannot see a 300-pound linebacker jogging at the slowest speed possible to get in front of Greg Olsen, and he still tries to jam that ball in there anyway. Not once, not twice, 3 times in this game. 3 times. And almost gets picked off. Kyle, what am I going to do with you, dude? What are we going to do with you? Like, come on, dude. On those 3 plays, we had Ray Charles stepping in at quarterback. Honestly. That's how I felt about that. That's ridiculous. That cannot continue. Will someone tell him that in film study, please? Will someone point that out in film study on Monday? And call him out on that. Because that is ridiculous. Any one of those passes could have been intercepted and taken to the house. By somebody. There were at least half a dozen passes that could have been picked off and go to the house. And put up points and finish us off. Nailed in the coffin. Thankfully, none of them did. But on the one play that did matter, he fumbles it, and Green Bay gets it. Of course, conveniently after we get a good field position. I swear, this team, man, I don't even know what to do with this team anymore. Like, y'all are wearing me out. I about had a freaking heart attack watching this team today. That's how stressed out I was. And not just the team itself, but the refs. And I'll get to the refs later. I got a bone to pick with the refs today. I got a big bone to pick with the refs. But let's continue on with the player grades. Before I do that, because Kyle Allen played most of the game pretty well, I'm going to cut him a break and I'm going to give him a B-. Only because he played 75% of this game decently well. He was off. He was a little bit off today. It's not his normal game. Every quarterback has one of those types of games. Every quarterback out there. You name a quarterback, they have an off day at some point or another. that's fine. But when you fail to see a 300-pound linebacker, probably 275, watch it be 275 or something like that. I probably got the weight wrong. But this same dude kept jogging across the field in front of Greg Olsen. And it pissed me off to no end. Uh, it made me so mad. Like, if y'all have watched Cam Newton play for the past 5 years, you know exactly why I'm upset right now. You know exactly why I'm upset. He's throwing so many jam passes into triple coverage, double coverage, even single coverage that wasn't there. So, you can understand why I'm a bit frustrated right now with those 3 passes. But I'm going to get off my soapbox and I'm going to continue here. Running back, B. Christian McCaffrey he did well. He didn't really push the lines. And this was supposed to be a very, very weak defense to the run with Green Bay. And we did not see that at all. And I understand defenses change from week to week. They adjust, they fix problems. So maybe they fixed their problem. I don't know. But I was expecting 150 yards out of him today. But I expected him to be used more. I expected him to catch some passes, and kind of get to that past that second level a little bit, and he never did. So maybe I have high expectations of him, but I mean, look at what he's been doing this year. It's Christian McCaffrey, He got 17 yards on one play. It was an end around. I do remember that. And, you give him his credit where it's due. He gets his solid B. I'm happy with his effort. I'm happy with what he did out there. I'm happy with him generally. So, I'm happy to cut him a break once in a while. Not a problem. Wide receiver, B plus. Overall, they made some excellent catches. DJ Moore in particular kept the chains moving. We had a lot of plays that involved him. Curtis Samuel got his catches when it mattered. And, we just overall kept the ball moving. And I have to be somewhat satisfied with that, except for the fact that, on those last 2 drives, we could not get anybody open whatsoever. And I was just going, really? We've been getting people open all game long, and now you decide to not get that separation? But I mean, I can't really fault them that much. They played a good game. I'm happy with them overall. I'm not blaming them at all for this loss. They did what they were supposed to do. So, Greg Olsen, you can't blame him either. He got his job done. He was wide open on a few plays. I don't even know how he got that wide open, but he did. I guess the defense forgot about him for a few plays and started centering in on somebody else. Because they figured, oh, hey, he's being doubled, so, and Kyle's been jamming a couple of passes in. Maybe we can ignore him for a little bit and focus on one of the wide receivers. Maybe Samuel. And, that's what I felt like they did. And it worked for a little while. Except for the fact that DJ kept catching passes against some soft coverage. So, you win some, you lose some, right? But overall, I thought they did okay. Wide receivers and Greg Olsen. Good job. The O-line, is a C plus, and I'll tell you why it's a C plus. Is because the pocket kept collapsing just about every play. Just about every play. Taylor Moton. Can we just discuss Taylor Moton for a second here? Taylor Moton just looked like a revolving door. He got destroyed on one play. Uh, Come on, guys. We played 8 games now. 8 games. And this is an above average pass rush. I'll give them that. Above average. They have some speed. They have some push. But our O-line should have been able to handle them for a good 60% of the game. And yet, you see these guys getting into the backfield just about every play. And you're going, what? How? Taylor Moton is one reason. Second reason, you got Darrell Williams standing in for Dennis Daly, who is hurt. And which y'all know how I feel about that. I'm not even going to get into that rant again. I don't even need to get into that rant again because y'all have seen the videos. You know how I feel about that. The fact that Ron Rivera is still putting him in frustrates me to no end. And we let go of a practice squad left tackle? Really? The week before Dennis Daly gets hurt, and he's the only guy besides Darrell Williams at left tackle right now. How many of y'all saw this coming? Be honest. How many of y'all saw this coming? It was going to happen at some point during this game. Who all saw this coming? But yeah, overall, the offensive line did not look good today. They did not play complementary football as a line. They didn't really stay in their lanes. They didn't get it done, and I just felt like that was an average effort from this crew. They're better than this, and they know they're better than this, so they need to play better than this. And the D-line, B grade. I felt like we were getting some solid push, but the problem is we're weak to the draw. And that's not the line's fault. That's not their responsibility, necessarily. Shaq needs to plug the hole. Shaq Thompson needs to plug the hole up the middle. I saw some massive gaps up the middle. And, for the most part, they did get that push, but, that's where Shaq Thompson needs to come up there. Eric Reed needs to come up there. Luke needs to step up and make those tackles. I saw a lot of missed tackles, folks. A lot of missed tackles. A lot of lazy effort tackles. Very lackadaisical tackles. I understand it's snowing up in Green Bay. I get it. The weather's cold. You're going to miss some tackles. But the amount of missed tackles? Really? Really? Step up. That's all I'm saying, defense. Step up. We're better than this. Corners. Corners, I'll give you a B minus because of I'm cutting them a break because Dante Jackson got hurt for a little bit. Bradbury's been out, so we've had to rely on Ross Cockrell. We've had to rely on Xavier Elliott. Um, and Cole Luke out there. So we were stretched thin at corner, and I felt like they did a solid job. Regardless, there were some soft coverages that Ron called, and that led to some of the lazy coverage out there, and that's okay. That's okay. That's not on them. That's on Ron. And I just felt like they did good, and they got it done. Um, I was not happy with some of the calls out there, and a couple of them went against one or two one or two plays on one of our corners, I believe, and it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. Um. Oh. Uh. Let's get to defensive end since we're talking about the line and the corners and stuff like that. The defensive line C plus defensive end. Defensive end was a little weak today. We got in there. We got the pressure that we needed to uh, throw him off rhythm for a while in the first half. But once that second half kicked into gear, Aaron Rodgers was just doing Aaron Rodgers things. And we can't let him do that. We cannot let him just have free reign over our defense. And that's exactly what we did. Because we did not put enough pressure on Rodgers. And it's tough to say. You know, I do. I do give credit where it's due to Gerald McCoy and Vernon Butler. Y'all stepped up today. Good job. You got the sack. You got the stop in the red zone before half. You shut down some of the other plays as well. So good job to them. They are putting in. You got to give them the A grade for effort every week because they are really bringing it, and you got to respect that. No matter what the score is, no matter whether we win or lose, they are still bringing 100% effort, and that's what I need to see out of everybody on this defense. Which brings me to Trey Boston. Mr. Trey, I feel lazy and don't feel like doing this play, Boston. Yeah, how many times have I said that I am so sick of the lackadaisical coverage by Trey Boston? How many times? How many times, folks? This dude just takes plays off at the worst time possible. He steps up at other times. He's like Jekyll and Hyde, man. I'm telling you. And we cannot afford to have Jekyll and Hyde on our defense. It's either one or the other. You can't be lackadaisical and go out there and try to make plays and act like you're in Charlie's Chocolate Factory, land. Nah. You can't do that and expect to stay on a roster. That's why I'm upset with Ron because he's allowing this every week. He's supposed to be taking over defensive plays and he's supposed to be making players responsible for stuff like this. You're supposed to be motivating your players. I see zero motivation on those plays where he takes off and he just looks confused. He looks like he's just somewhere on vacation on some of these deep passes. And, I don't want to throw him completely under the bus because he does make plays. He had some pass breakups, but On those plays that he got lazy on, it looked like he was in the Bahamas somewhere or Hawaii. Like, come on, man, wake up. This isn't bye week anymore, dude. That happened 2 weeks ago. Step up, do your game, man. Play your game. Alright, so you got Eric Reed that did really well today. Uh, definitely A for effort from him. He's bringing it every week. Um, Mario Addison did his job today. Definitely can't fault him. The only thing that I saw really that was particularly bad on our defense is the fact that we kept falling for screens every time they called one. I mean, it was just, you could set your clock by it. Every time they call a screen, we would have a total of maybe two guys over there to their two blockers and their wide receiver that is running the play. Where's the D? Someone is missing their assignment. Someone is not watching tape. Can you guess who it is? That play was run exactly half a dozen times in that game, and we got fooled every time. Our entire defensive line shifted. We had a total of two guys over there, and both those guys missed their tackles. So guess who has to clean up? Shaq Thompson, Eric Reed, and Luke Kuechly. By the time they get there, Green Bay's already got their first down. What are we doing? Did y'all study film at all this week? Like, come on, man. Basic screen. Basic screen and wideout pass, man. God. I know Ron's probably getting on these guys too in the locker room right about now. Good. I'm glad he is. I hope so. I hope so. I want to see him light this defense up in that locker room. I'm talking about, man, I want some words that are not fit for cameras used in that locker room. That's what I want to see from Ron. I want to see some fire. This dude cannot motivate a goat to move through a pasture right now. That's what I'm frustrated with. Like, today was as much emotion as you're going to see out of Ron, typically. And that's not going to cut it if you're coaching a defense. But where's the all or nothing motivation? Where's the fire? Where's the fire? I know you got it somewhere deep down in there. Somewhere deep down in that heart of yours, Ron. Wake it up. Because your coaching days are starting to get numbered here. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. That's where I'm going next with this grading system. Ron Rivera, okay. Ron Rivera's genius idea. Oh, let's go for two when we're down by like 13 points. No, we're down by like, what? 20 something points. And he decides, oh, let's go for two. Knowing full well he's not going to get it. Knowing full well we cannot make that 2-point conversion. DJ has been getting catch after catch after catch after catch, and the dude's worn out. Give him a gas mask. Curtis Samuel's not catching anything lately. At that point, so I mean, it's just like Greg Olson's doubled. Who are you going to go to? McCaffrey, if you want him to go out for a pass. But honestly, I don't see how that 2-point conversion try could work. I don't see it. I never did. And that royally screwed us. If you look at how this game progressed, you knew that was going to screw us. You knew it. And you still tried it anyway. I don't know whether it was Norv talking, or whether in his ear, or whether Ron actually called that play and decided, okay, let's green light it. I know it wasn't Kyle. I can guarantee it wasn't Kyle. Because if it was Kyle, he would own up in a press conference. And maybe he is. If he is, while I'm recording this, okay, call me out on it. I stand corrected. But if he does not say so in the presser, then it was 100% either Ron or Norv. Take your pick on who you want to blame for that one. I've already talked about Darrell Williams. So, then we get to play calling. Here's Ron's genius play calling. That either came from Ron or Norv. Let's have Kyle, who is getting swarmed by defensive players constantly the entire drive, on a 3rd and 1 in the red zone on our final drive, try to pass that ball over the middle to nobody. Nobody was there. They were all covered. Why? We have Christian McCaffrey. Why? I don't care about snap counts. I don't care. You have Arma, you have Christian McCaffrey, you have Bonifon, and you use none of them on a 3rd and 1 with the game on the line in the red zone inside the 10. Who does that? Who calls a pass on the 7-yard line with 3rd and 1 with the game on the line when you have Christian McCaffrey? Power it in there, dude. CMC MVP. CMC MVP. Who plays that? Who calls that? I don't know. Y'all have to help me figure this one out, man. I'm frustrated with this game, and I a loss doesn't exactly kill our chances for a 10-win season, but it definitely doesn't help. It puts a dent in it. I'll give you that. We're not behind the 8 ball. Not yet. But that just means we need a win against Seattle, Indianapolis, and one against the Falcons, as well as that win against the Redskins, in order to get 10. But I do feel like our chances are slipping. That just really, really put the pressure on us. Right there. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't mind taking the loss, but the way we lost That's what makes me angry. The way we lost. And here's where I get into a rant about the refs. Here's where I just have some fun. Because oh boy, the refs. This has got to be top 5 of worst reffing crews I've ever seen. This has got to make top 5 right here. Because if you were watching the game and you've seen how many bad calls we had this week, it would run your blood pressure through the roof. I know it did mine. I was already pissed at my team, my our players, for not getting it done and being lackadaisical. But then the reffing calls, that sent my blood pressure skyrocketing. I know it did yours too. Uh, okay, can you honestly say that that was roughing on Aaron Rodgers in that end zone? Really? Really, guys? Oh, and let's talk about how they just randomly pulled a rule out of the rule book for the field goal try that magically gave him 10 more yards and gave him an easier kick that he made. He missed the first one. How do you have an illegal formation on a field goal try? How does that happen? I this just blows my mind. This blows my mind. 40%, a whopping 40% of those calls were correct. But the rest of them? Oh man. Yeah, y'all just embarrassed yourselves on national television because that was the worst reffing I've seen in a long time. I've seen some bad ones. There were 2 or 3 this year that were pretty bad, but this one tops them for sure, for absolute sure. You're gonna tell me after multiple camera angles that Christian McCaffrey did not cross that goal line? I'll give you that one, I guess. I'll give you that one. That was debatable. You couldn't really see where the ball was, but I'll give you that one for free. But the rest of them,